Hello, Jedi Knights and Sith Lords. We're back this week for the covering of Maul Shadow Lord. And this week we'll be covering episodes 3 and 4 of that pretty cool series.
Pretty cool,
We're
pretty cool.
kind of hyped, yeah. So, as usual, with my buddy Eric. Eric, first, how are you? And do you have a little heads up for us about your activities since last week's show?
No, just been kind of busy, but a lot of good things happening, and yeah. But on that note, what I will mention is though I got some constructive feedback from our friend Marie Claude, who I spoke with through the chat, who said I looked upset in the last video, and I'm like, oh,
Okay.
it's just maybe because I have a lot going on, a lot on my mind, and stuff like that. But everything is much better now. But I wasn't the case. I wasn't upset. I was just, I don't know. I guess wasn't in a super smiley mood, and now I can't even stop myself from smiling. So
Yeah.
complete reversal. What about you?
Well, first, before I forget, happy belated birthday, buddy.
Hmm.
It was your birthday
Yes, thank you.
not a few days ago, so
Yeah, I forget that too. So like I said, it's been a crazy few weeks there. But thank you very much.
and well, for my part, I got to attend a New Hope concert
Oh yeah.
last weekend. So
Mhm.
some of you guys probably know the drill. They project the movie on a cinema screen, and the orchestra plays John Williams' soundtrack.
Nice.
So it was my first official troop of 2026 with the 501st. So we got to take pretty cool pictures and everything.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was fun.
Never done one
And
of those was, with the 501st. I've done a lot of stuff, but that's something that it's gotta get on the bucket list for me. So
we were like ready for when the folks entered the room.
yeah,
And I think we took nearly 1,000 pictures.
yeah,
We were two groups of five,
yeah,
and my mom she's a handler, so she was taking the pictures for the folks,
yeah,
and she had to make a line on one end, and that line, when they were done with us, they were going with the other group,
oh yeah, yeah.
and vice versa. So they
Hmm.
were crisscrossing at some point. So,
Nice. Well,
oh
that's
yeah,
good.
she must have taken at
And
least 1,000
how was your
pictures.
dad's first troop?
He liked it. He only needs to make a few adjustments with his belt, but it was a pretty cool test drive. I know you thought he looked really
He looked
serious
like
and
a
in
jerk, man. He looked
character.
like one of those guys that, like, if you see that officer, you'd be like, "What a prick!" But he played the
Hmm.
role perfectly. That's what it's supposed to be, right? So
Yeah,
that's good.
I need to correct that. I'm smiling too much when I'm dressed
It's
as an officer, and
it's okay.
it's hard that too because folks are so happy to see us
Yeah.
that we want to return the smile, but it's hard to stay in character. But
It's
I'm
okay. When I'm
working on
behind
it.
the helmet, I don't have to worry about that. So it's all
Hmm.
good. All right. Well, let's get started. Episode 3 and 4 of this incredible series.
Yeah.
Just like I said, it's just everywhere. Positive and positive reviews on this. So let's give our take on it. Start with episode 3 called "Whispers of the Unknown." Um, you know, I don't know what you thought of it in general. I thought it was a good setup episode. We
Hmm.
saw stuff like the continuation of the manipulation of Devin with Maul. Just trying to get in her head, trying to like see her potential or the potential that he sees in her.
Yeah.
Obviously,
And it picks up right where we left last week with Devon just coming out of her cell.
yeah. And Vario
And
like, how'd you do that? It was like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's what's funny. Yeah. And Will Casp just points Devon in the right
yeah.
direction.
That
And
was a cool thing. Like it was all part of the plan, right? But that's the theme I think between Devin and Maul is that relationship, and continue to manipulate her, showing her that he knows what's going to happen next.
hmm
He's pushed her to let herself free, and now facing her one on one to have a conversation with the little T and everything, and like it was
yeah, the little T said that some YouTubers or influencers got to receive from Disney, like
Oh,
you
really?
guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they got that, and they got like a hoodie and a
Nice.
few goodies. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And the tea that they are drinking is called Cassius tea, and it's the same tea that he drank with Paz Vizsla in the Clone Wars when they started to work together to retake Mandalore. So
Okay.
it was a little link to the Clone Wars series there. But yeah, he appears well intentioned. He tends to her wounds. I think he wants to appear as a friendly face
Well,
to.
he kind of reminds her a couple times. It's like he goes, it's like if this is not the behavior I feel like you're expecting, or you're expecting something, or
Yeah.
what your expectations of me is something that's more mean, and when I'm doing something that's not, or like when he's looking at her wound, he goes, you don't seem to think that this is the kind of behavior to expect out of me, like someone who's
Hmm.
concerned about something, right? So, but I mean, I thought that whole, if we stick to like basically that storyline without moving on to any of the characters, I thought that whole thing, even with their kind of battle at the end, was very interesting. The whole time showing her
Oh yeah.
he's in control, he knows what she's gonna do, and like we were discussing, the one arm behind the back, kind of showing her like just everything on a physical, a mental approach. She's just completely in
Yeah.
control of the situation.
And every time we were cutting to Brander or the police station, I was like, no, I want to keep watching them. Don't cut that part.
Yeah,
That's the best part. So, and it felt like a somewhat of a horror movie, in the dark, and he
yeah.
appears, disappears, and
Well, the
it was
whispers, I
creepy.
guess. Yeah, it was, and I mean, I don't know if we spoke about it a lot, but like the thing about Sam's screams and the lightsaber swings and stuff like
Yeah.
that and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really paid attention this week and listening. So it's not on every swing, but every once in a while, the more aggressive swings.
The more impactful, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to hear that sound. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. But if we
And
go ahead.
speaking of the whispers, they reused some of the sounds that we first hear in the Phantom Menace. Like when he arrives on Tatooine and he sends his little probe droids
Yeah,
to Mos Espa, we hear like cha cha,
yeah, 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 yeah.
stuff like that. And those are the whispers that we hear throughout the episode. And it's so cool that it brings us back way to 1999.
But I think even the subtitles mention stuff like that, right? Like the lightsaber whispers and stuff like
Yeah.
that, or something. I was paying attention because I mean I started doing that same thing as you, like just to keep on track with some of the
At the very
details.
end, when they're just before she leaves, uh, or escapes Maul, uh, in the subtitles it says Maul's lightsaber speaks alien language.
Yeah, well
And I
that's
was
it.
like,
Yeah, that's it.
whoa.
So that's it. So letting her go like that at the end, like it
As
just,
if the crystal is like whispering to Maul.
the voices and
Oh, yeah, the voices
yeah.
are. Yeah, so yeah, that was.
But again, like letting her go like that at the end with the, oh, by the way, I'm gonna need this his lightsaber back. The whole
Hmm.
time he could have just taken this away from you, just showing his dominance, and just like also kind of like hinting maybe in a way that like you can have this, right? Like you can be this powerful as
Yeah.
well, like if you choose. But she decides to eventually leave at the end, and I think
And she
maybe
knows that she's no match because he says, "Why are you running?" And she says, "It's not that I'm afraid. I know that I'm not as strong as you."
yeah. Well, he
And that,
pushes her, right? And I think he
hmm
pushed her also to like a fearful moment where she kind of started doubting maybe what she would do, if she
yeah.
stuck around. So,
Oh yeah, he's definitely successfully planted seeds in her mind. Uh,
but with the other characters who had stuff, like we finally got to see Lawson's a little bit of his relationship and the chemistry with him and his son.
hmm
Uh, you know, maybe very relatable to a lot of people with like separated parents, and this guy's
Yeah.
busy and he ends up going to the sports, and you hope your dad's gonna watch in the crowd. He doesn't. He leaves, but
And
meanwhile
he
he
wants to be there, but work always calls
yeah.
at the wrong time, and duty calls. And
Then you've got
he,
Uncle Daki that comes and
hmm
presents up as Devin's uncle, and tries to I guess break the ice with Lawson. Um, so I mean, I guess like I said, a lot of setup heading for episode 4, and episode 4 is definitely another setup. But let's
Yeah.
get to that after. But what did you notice in this episode in terms of your Easter eggs for episode 3?
Well, we were speaking of Brender's son. The sports he's playing is called Botekin. It's like a lacrosse style,
Yeah.
lacrosse version of Star Wars. What else? Well, I spoke of the whispers. Orbesh on the police uniform. TDF, Tactical Defense Force, and a lot of holo screens that says wanted. We have all the main characters, and it's always wanted written in Orabesh. So
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much it. And we see Chief Kleiss at the police station, and what I thought about that is that I thought she should have gone with him with even more forces. You know, he goes, they arrive like 4 or 5 ships or speeders, and for a guy like Maul, it's not enough. For a guy like Vario, perhaps.
You're saying when
But
you're talking about episode 3 or episode 4?
Well, yeah, I guess I'm transgressing to.
Yeah, it's the only time that they kind of went was when I think
when they get the tip.
Yeah, so they saw the pikes and all that stuff. And,
yeah.
But it's a good segue. Let's skip to episode 4,
Mm-hmm.
and that's basically what the premise, I guess, is in this one is, Lawson was tipped off by Uncle Dacky. I'm gonna keep calling him that because it's just so funny. And to go and get Maul, but like you said, she said, go and get him, and like basically don't screw up this time because they can. You got Two Boots that's just so insistent on following the protocol, and we should contact the Empire and contact the Empire. But I think this is time for and he knows it. I mean, this is a droid. He realizes this is way out of our hands, right? We should be calling him, and to the point where Lawson just so stubborn. I don't know if it's his pride or what it is, but he just he to the point he turns off Two Boots, deactivates him, so he doesn't do that.
I think he knows that if the Empire gets on the planet, they're not going to leave, and it's like Morlana 1 in Andor. When they screwed up, the Empire arrived, and that was it. No more freedom. So
So we ended up seeing that, like you said, she sends him off to go get it, and then we got that nice little scene where Maul, his hologram speaks to Lawson.
Yeah, well, they saved that battle for the end.
Nope, yeah.
Because first Vario arrives on the ship on Obadiah. So that's the home world of the Pikes. Last time we've seen that planet was in the Marte's sister arc in the final season of the Clone Wars, when they were trying
Ahsoka
to
went down in
smuggle spice.
Yeah,
and that's when she meets Bo-Katan, and afterwards we know the rest of the story. But so it had been a little while since we saw Obadiah. Felt good, and that ruse of sending Maul's brother as a decoy.
That's my question to you. So Vario gets off the ship. He tries to it looks like he's trying to throw him a little bit of a bone and say he's over here. It's you're gonna get caught, and then so he comes out, and Vario looks genuinely afraid. So I'm like, okay, is he playing the game and all this stuff? So then when they capture him, he's like, make sure to tell him that, I'm the one that brought him or whatever that got him captured. But when he's talking to him and then Maul comes out, if he figures out it's his brother, he's like, Vario still looks like, oh crap. So was he in on the whole plan, or was he just in on the, or did he even fall for Maul's trap, right?
I think he was in it for the whole plan,
Really?
because even when he speaks to the Pikes, he said, uh, "He's here," when he's playing comedy. I think
Yeah.
he knew all along about that part at least.
I don't know. It's just weird because like I tried to read him afterwards. So again, I paid attention like to see if he was gonna be like, haha, But there was
Mm-hmm.
none of that. He looked scared when Maul officially comes out after. And then there's another scene where Maul's brother is still on the sidelines while Maul is just like tearing it up, and then um, he's kind of hiding behind Maul's brother. Like he kind of creeps out
Yeah,
and still looks like he's kind of afraid, right? So that's why I was wondering. I'm like, did he fall for it too? And Maul realized that, oh, or was he afraid that he tried to throw him under the bus as soon as he walked out? So it was very
perhaps he
weird.
was just playing it both ways. I mean,
Yeah,
whoever wins, I'm gonna look good.
yeah, yeah,
You know. So yeah, but I really liked when when Maul got in the throne room, let's call it that way,
yeah,
and the Marge Krim has his lightsaber in his hand, and by the twist of
yeah. It's
his hand,
that's got
he,
a.
he he pulls a Supreme Leader Snoke
I was
move
gonna
on.
say, yeah, that's got a whole Snoke vibe to it, right? So
Oh yeah, really.
yeah,
So that was cool, and then he brings back the saber to him and snatch them together, and then the massacre, and the last three Pikes were pretty wise to drop their weapon.
yeah, and take a knee. And that
Yeah,
was
take a knee,
Lord
and
Maul.
the captain of
And
the
one got a
guard is now
promotion,
in
right? Yeah,
charge, but
exactly.
he answers to Maul anyway, so he's just a puppet.
Yeah. So it looks like Maul's setting up his old gang again.
Mm-hmm.
But then yeah, so leading to Lawson eventually getting tipped off and having that wherever they ended up meeting at that spot, and you had Devin that had reunited with Daki, and at that point, and they were
Yeah.
there as well. Obviously, they knew where they were because he tipped them off. But that encounter with like just I guess that conversation and proposal from Maul and um, to Lawson to say, we both kind of have a not a common enemy, but um, and when he was talking about the Empire, then he's like, I know you didn't call them, or else they'd be here right now, right? So
Yeah.
very wise to this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Lawson, I don't know. I just don't understand his stubbornness. But I mean, I get he wants to bring him in. But he goes, no. How about you guys surrender to us and all this? And it's like Maul's like, oh well, have a good death kind of thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, then that's it. So basically, from that point on to the end is just a lot of action, but um, definitely like
But good action, right?
yeah. So I mean, that's when I was really paying attention to the lightsaber kind of sounds and whatnot. But for me,
And it was typical Star Wars action. When I say that, I mean we get the lightsaber fight,
yeah, it's
and we
just
get to see the meanwhile what's going on elsewhere.
kind of like a
Like
Naboo episode one, like
Yeah,
wow,
the space battle. The
yeah,
same thing for Return of the Jedi, I
yeah,
guess. Vader and Luke in the throne room with the Endor situation down
yeah.
there. So, cutting from one to the other, yeah, it's a
So there
pretty good way
was
to show us the action.
there was a few little moments in the battle, where all of a sudden he's got Daki, at the end of his sword and all this kind of stuff. But there was one thing for me overall that battle kind of bugs me because Daki even kind of injures his knee, and I can understand maybe he's lost a little bit of a step or whatever. But the thing is, I can't help but think that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon couldn't even get a touch on him, like
Hmm.
could not even touch him. And to me, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are like top tier,
Yeah.
and this student and her
Well, Obi
master
Wan
like
was a
was holding.
Padawan still,
I know, but I mean, look at
and
how he ended. Like he basically he didn't beat him, but like look, if you look at their level, I if I were to combine Qui
mhm,
Gon and Obi Wan, should be
you would think that duo way
yeah,
before Devin and Master
yeah,
Jackie, right?
exactly. So I would, I'm not saying Daki's like a Yoda, but like he's like he looks a little bit older, you would think, and then she
Hmm.
seems extremely green. He was fighting her with one hand behind his back type thing. Like how are they kind of like even I was kind of like, I'm nitpicking at this point, but like I'm like,
Yeah.
they're holding him off to the point where he even gets injured by Daki, like with the knee thing. I understand that whole part, but like it's just, I don't know. It was kind of like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan couldn't get it done, but like these two are kind of like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But nitpicking at this point, I don't want to sound like a.
Yeah, well, that key, he's maybe, as you said, he's older and he was wise enough to notice maybe that weakness in Maul, like those middle legs,
Yeah.
robotic legs, and he tried to use it as at his advantage because a non-robotic leg Maul probably would have won
Yeah.
much easier. Probably much like he would be dead by now, but.
Hmm.
Yeah, he took that, but it didn't take long before Mo caught up on him and give him a good kick in the stomach,
Yeah, I think maybe he
and that
stopped
really
playing with his
seemed
food there a bit, right?
to
So
bang him up, right?
yeah,
He
which is kind of weird because like it's a robotic leg, but like it's like it's connected to something that gives him a feeling. So I'm kind of weirded out by that a little bit. Like I'm trying to, maybe we'll see what happens later, but it
Mhm.
just I don't know. It just kind of off that like you hurt his knee and it goes like that dude that's not even your knee. You shouldn't have any feelings. So I don't know if their technology is advanced or something, but
Well, just think of Luke at the end of Empire when he was like a needle at the tip of his fingers of his brand new hand,
yeah, to
and
see how
he
if he has
feels,
feeling.
yeah, he has feelings. So I don't know. Perhaps
Yeah, but that was
a
like
similar.
last. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I
who
don't know.
knows, right? Yeah. But he does get shot in the hand too at one in episode 6, right? Like in
Yeah, the rest. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not gonna nitpick for little details like that, but overall, I think like that episode, like especially the end. I mean, that was the whole setup to the first, like we kind of alluded to, or maybe we did, but like knowing the episode 4 for me is when the S kind of gets real,
Hmm.
and non spoiler review of what's coming to. This is only the beginning of the OS moments, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like it's every episode from now on. I think is just incredible. And I spoke to a friend of mine who had caught up to episode 4. And he's like, "Oh my god, episode 4!" Right? Like
Hmm.
it was really good. And to have the, I think it was the spy bot that was on top of like the tent. I think he was gonna go like, "What's that noise? Uh-oh!" And then people are starting to look up and just like,
And we hear the sound of a probe droid. The bap, 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 bap.
yeah. And Tubus, he said that comment like he's like,
I forgive you for shutting me down,
yeah, exactly, because I
and I hope
just,
you'll forgive me too. Something like that.
yeah, that was
And then you hear all the comms on all the cops and the aftermath of the
yeah.
final, and this ding, 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 ding. It was like,
But what an
oh.
ending! I mean, obviously we've seen the next 4, but like for
Hmm.
anyone who hasn't, who saw that, like, oof, you're in for a treat, and it's like it's just gonna get a lot more interesting. If you've loved this series up to now, things are only gonna get better. So
Uphill, yeah.
yeah. So overall, I mean, there's also Easter eggs. I guess you must have found in
Yes,
this
of
episode.
course. Well, it's mostly Orabesh for that episode. When two boots enter the computer room, you can read the TDF link on the first screen. And then when he logs in, there's like four squares of things choices he can make. First one is report activity. And then you have known criminals, data inquiry, and request assistance, which is the button on which he clicks. And then there's a message that pops out that says, please confirm request for assistance. And then on the bottom left, there's abort, and bottom right, there's confirm. And that's when
Awesome.
Brander shuts him down.
Yeah.
And there's a little square below that that says contact Imperial Security
Oh,
Bureau
really?
by the good old ISB.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun stuff when you hit the pause button and you're trying to decrypt everything. Yeah, it's
You should be completely fluent by now, Dom. It should be a
yeah. I
no
should.
brainer, eh?
I
So
well, there was so much Arabic since the beginning of the show that at the end I was trying to, do it without my little translator that I have, but there's always a few letters that I can't
Yeah,
remember the symbol, but
yeah.
it's coming. It's coming.
Well, overall, I mean, what did you think? I mean, again, this felt like more of a package of two episodes
Yeah,
combined, but like for me, it's just an easy 9 for me. I mean, you got that moment at the end, but again, knowing what's coming and leaving a little bit of like it's it's hard to even give a number. It's just so good.
yeah.
Yeah,
As a whole, it's all good. The average of the first four is 9 for me too, and
yeah. At the very
it's not gonna
least,
change for what's coming either. So
yeah. I mean, I think that like I don't know about perfection, but in terms of like as a fan of Star Wars and liking
hmm
a little bit more of the maybe more of the Lucas content. I find that this is every Star Wars fan's dream,
yeah.
or every long term, I guess, Star Wars fan's dream. But I mean, should be as well. So for the new, but I mean,
And
to
I
me, this
think
is
one
what.
of the main keys for its success is that it's well written.
Yeah,
And the episodes make sense one after the other. And maybe because there's only 10 episodes instead of 20, like it was the case for the Clone Wars,
yeah,
there's no fillers.
yeah. And that's, I mean, maybe because I didn't know there was going to be a season 2, maybe when they first started. But I
Perhaps,
mean,
yeah.
that's why I'm curious to see how it's going to end.
hmm
Obviously, those two episodes, the last two we haven't seen, we're going to see with everyone else. But I'm curious to see how it ends, to see if I guess if you can almost pick up that, yeah, they've wrapped it up, but with
hmm
it with a possibility, or if there's really a cliffhanger where there was no doubt there was going to be a second season, right? So
Yeah, I hope it's the first option because I don't want to be like stuck on a huge,
yeah, waiting.
waiting a year or two before we get to see season two. It's going to be way too long, but so rewarding when we get it. But
I have
uh,
a feeling it's going to be part of like the season 2 is going to be part of the celebration announcement. Um,
perhaps.
for 2027.
hmm
So that means, we got a full year. Probably have it's what, April 2027, have an announcement, or have
Maybe
it,
Whitworth gets on stage and makes an announcement, or
or I mean, maybe they'll show the first preview, or maybe they'll
hmm
have the premiere. To go and watch the first 2 episodes there, type thing.
that would be fun.
So I think they had that
Yeah,
with the Clone
they did that
Wars.
with Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
who knows? We'll get to see, because I mean it's an animated series, right? I mean it's not as and they've
no,
been
yeah.
greenlit, so I can only imagine they're working on it already. Or so, but yeah, I mean, like I said, this to me is the kind of Star Wars that I think unanimously all the fans are saying that this is great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
And the animation style, we mentioned it in the first show, but with the brush strokes,
yeah,
and they got to put some good shots when they were filming the lightsaber battle. When Maul stands still over the Devin, and with the lightsabers, like the reflection of blue and red from the sabers
yeah,
creates a light that wow, it's pretty cool. I
yeah.
really like it. Yeah.
No, it's good. So exciting stuff to come in the next couple of episodes, for sure. And I'm just so excited to watch
Can't
them
wait
again.
for next Monday.
Yeah. So and that I mean even more excited for the finale, but it's going to be a
Because for the guys who are watching our show, when we watch the screeners, uh, usually we do it on our computer screens,
yeah.
and there's our email address,
Well, a
like
watermark to make sure that
right in the middle of the screen,
yeah,
just to be sure that we do not take snapshots
the
and
resolution is
put it
not
online.
anyway. I mean, without going too far into details, it's not the experience that you get watching it when it's actually released, and it's purposely done, obviously, for it's a screener. And
Oh yeah.
I've seen, back in the day when I used to like kind of like bootleg old films and stuff like that. Screeners would come out, and
hmm
you want to watch it, here it is. But I mean, if you're expecting that full experience, so rewatching it a second time on the screen, with the Disney Plus official release is
Yeah.
like it's like another version of it. It's like a 2.0, so it's even
And
better.
I have a brand new OLED TV in my bedroom, and it's like,
Oh yeah,
whoa!
yeah. It's coming. It's coming for
It's
me
like a
when I move.
window
So
in my bedroom, you know. So sometimes I feel that Mole's face is gonna pop out of my screen. It's so good, but for the screeners, it allows us to prepare shows like this. You know, I prepared all 8 shows 2 weeks ago. When I watched the screeners, I spent the whole week preparing my stuff, taking my notes. So I watched it once for my viewing pleasure, and then my second watch was to prepare the notes for the show. And last Monday, I watched it like a third time, just sit down, enjoy, relax.
but for me, it's like I watch, like I watched through it once, and then I rewatch it to get a refresher, so it's fresh in my mind before
Yeah.
every episode and
Mhm.
before every review and stuff like this. So it's just, I don't know, you get so excited and you pick up on things like the second watch and everything stuff like that you didn't notice the first time because it was just so new and you're trying to absorb as much as you can. But it's definitely fun. So anything else you want to add besides, well, we were talking about last week, there was not much no demand really for live. I know that we enjoy definitely interacting with the chat and live questions if that happens. It does create a little bit longer episodes, but if you do want, again, leave a comment in the video or the comments below if you want to go to more live. This week we're one day late. Sorry, that's completely on me. But I was a little tied up yesterday. But next week we should be back to the Wednesday release.
All right. So before we go, I was hearing whispers from my
your friend
Dark Maul half-scale boss here, and he was telling me that I should maybe tell you guys that this Friday, so April 17th, I'll be releasing my review of the Devon Izara limited edition box set that I received a few days ago. I spent the whole weekend instead of relaxing. I filmed the review during the weekend, so Nico, our good buddy, could do the editing during this week, and it will be released this Friday. So tune in the Star Wars Artefacts YouTube channel to see that review. So pretty cool saber, maybe not so cool box set. Just watch the review.
Yeah. All right. Well, then talk us out, Tom.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. I know that there was a lot of you guys who watched the last week's show, so I was really pleased with the views. And we'll see you next week. And until then, may the force be with you always.